Well, let's get into the meat here, if you don't mind. What's one event that dramatically altered your worldview?
One event that dramatically, like business-wise.
I would say more like socially conscious, spiritually. What's something in your past or your near past that made you go, oh wow, I gotta look at life a little bit differently?
There was a big time when I was into Tony Robbins when I was 16, and that was really dramatic for me. But the most dramatic effect, which led me down my whole spiritual path, was I got into Wayne Dyer when I was about 17. When I was about 17 or 18, right? And you know Wayne Dyer, right?
Yeah.
He's my favorite. I love Wayne Dyer. And when I saw him on PBS television show, they did those free show stuff, and I was like, wow, right? So I started getting all this Wayne Dyer stuff, and I just devoured it, right? That for a month there, and then I started getting into the Abraham stuff, right? Abraham Hicks, like Law of Attraction, 6-7 years ago,
right?
And I was just so addicted. I was so addicted to the spiritual side of things, right? And that for me dramatically, that little time period dramatically shifted, who I was, where I was going. It was like there's a fork in the road, and I took this certain path.
Well, what was the other? What would the other fork have been, if you don't mind me asking?
The other fork would have been, just go finish college, go work for someone else who was just do what my dad wanted me to do. Go to college, work a dead-end job. Work my butt off for 10 years, and then move up on the next, move up the ranks in the business, and I still probably be going to church. I was raised Catholic. Just the typical, just typical like American kind of thing.
Yeah.
I honestly, I know in my heart of hearts that actually never would have happened, just because it's just who I am. It's just ingrained in me. It's just my consciousness where I was at the time. It wouldn't have let me go down that path. I would have had this path one way or the other. I'm a big believer in it's just your consciousness creates, your awareness creates. So I would have been here anyways. It doesn't matter which road I take, I'd be here anyways, because it was who I was. It drew me here.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say one of the core principles is that guides your life? Like for me, I feel like I'm here to improve the human condition. I feel like whatever I'm given, I should return out of the abundance that I have, and I just want to leave my footprint here. And when I leave, I want it to be a better place in some way, shape, or form. What would be some?
That's a great question. There's two main things that I really think my purpose in life is, and one is I love business and I'm very spiritual. So one of my biggest beliefs is that my whole purpose here is to kind of merge the two, bring spirituality and business together, kind of like James Ray does. I love James Ray. He's very successful business-wise. He's very abundant, but he attributes to all the spiritual stuff. He brings it together and he unites. So that's one of my biggest purpose. Actually, I think my purpose, and the second part of my purpose is, I'm here to get everyone to own their greatness. That nothing fuels me more to think about getting people to own their greatness, and nothing really gets to me more is when people don't. A lot of people when they meet me, they sometimes they think I'm arrogant, right? And the people who usually think that are people who are low self-esteem, and they don't believe in themselves, stuff like that. But when people meet me, they come to really find out really fast that I am 100%, 150% in love with myself, right? And it's not this cocky place from being cocky or anything, because I have no ounce of that I think that I'm better than anyone. I just love myself, and I want everyone else to feel the same way, and just own their greatness, because once you own your greatness, you can do anything. And we, Dennis and I, we've come to really see the people who, you know, when they come into our program, and the people who actually take it to the next level, there's a shift. And that shift is when, just in that moment or that time it takes to get there, when they own their greatness, everything else falls into place. And that really is it. So our entire program is designed to really get people to own their greatness. Right? Because if you do that, you can do anything. You can just do anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. There's so many people that walk around that are just, they're so limited by what they've been told in their past, and you know, what the major influences have allowed them to believe and led them to believe. And it's amazing when you just start speaking into somebody. Like, you know, I mean, you see people every day that have so much potential, and if you just take the time to speak even just a little bit into that greatness, or into that person, it's like they're just amazed, you know. And I love that. I love to see that. I love to turn those lights on in people, because I mean, let's face it, this world's not really doing a whole lot to do that for people. So, you know, I want to do my part, and when I see somebody with potential or a gift or whatever, I want to speak to that, because I want them to see, just like you're saying, I want them to break out of that shell and to own that, because it's meant to be.
Yep. And I think honestly, you know, the best way to get other people to own their greatness is to first own your greatness, and really, you know, it's like walking into taking a candle into a dark room, right? It just naturally, you know, Wayne Dyer always talks about it. When you bring a candle into a dark room, it automatically lights up. The candle's not outside trying to explain to the dark, hey, you need to light up. Seriously, it's awesome. You know, the light's the way to go. You know, trust me, it's awesome. It just walks in and lights it up. So that's been my whole philosophy: be someone who owns their greatness, and just and cause others to really feel that way, right? That's why you see me in the videos. I'm just like, I almost kind of overdo it, right? I just that rock star, right? I have this term that I use, right? It's a spiritual rock star, right? Spiritual rock star. Sometimes people think being spiritual means meditate, and you're sitting on top of a mountain and you meditate for 5 hours a day, and you know, some people it's just boring. But my whole thing is just be abundant, love life, live life to the fullest. Spiritual rock star, right? It's just you can be spiritual in many different ways, right?
Absolutely.
But it's just be that person who owns their greatness, and go emanate that, go radiate it, go show people what it's like to be great, right? You know, it's the whole you know, you can't say grateful, you know. It's saying, you know, great. Break down the word grateful. It just means full of greatness, right? It's just be that person, go out there and show them what it means to be great, right? And in that way, you know, you'll do more that way than trying to tell someone they're great and really convince them they're great. Be great, let them follow, right? Bring them up to your level. Because it's like, you can never, you know, when people come tell me my stuff, so like, they start crying to me and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't have time for that. Stop it. Stop it. And they think I'm being like not like empathetic to their problem. It's, you know, if someone scrapes their knee, does it make sense for me to go scrape my knee and cry with them?
Absolutely not.
No. Stop your bitching. Stand up. Life's awesome.
Yeah.
One, two, three into the four. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance, so back on up, cause you know we're about to rip shit up. Give me the microphone first so I can bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Two loped out niggas, so we're crazy. Death Row is the label that pays me. Unfadable, so please don't try to fake this. But back to the lecture at hand. Perfection is perfected, so I'ma let them understand from a young G's perspective. And before me dig on a bitch, I have to find a contrast.